I love it when people who are successful creators, I mean, over 750,000 YouTube subscribers, just under 70 million views. Amazing. I love it when these big creators have all their old videos still on their account. Like you
Yeah.
go to Ali Abdaal, you go to Chris Williamson, and then you can go filter by oldest, and you can go and you can actually see where they started and how they were able to grow that account and grow their ability to speak and create content and how things have changed. When you did initially create your YouTube account, what was the plan? Like, did you expect it to get to where it is now?
No, dude. So I was talking, like I'd always been kind of interested in YouTube. I watched some like fitness creators that I really related with. So I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do fitness content. But then I was like super nerding out about finance, and I was doing a lot of it, and like nobody was talking. It was like before Graham Stephan was big or anything like that. Nobody's talking about that. And I was house hacking, I was saving money, and looked over at my wife when we were on a car trip, and I was like, hey, like, think, like, do you mind if I start a YouTube channel just like so I could talk about this stuff? And she's like, yeah, go for it. I was like, oh, I was kind of expecting you to be like, no, that's dumb. But I just like started talking about the stuff I was passionate about. And you can see like the first video literally has, I think it has one edit or no edits. The thumbnail is a screenshot. I didn't know what a thumbnail was. I didn't know how, you could edit. I didn't know anything. I was just like, I'm just going to do this blindly. And then really enjoyed, like, I'm just so passionate about the subject that I just kept going and like done every week for 7 years, I think. And it's just been like, I just enjoy what I talk about. But I never thought like I was going to go till I hit 1,000 subscribers and then quit. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, hopefully if one day I can get 1,000, I'm like, okay, I did something and I can just like, okay, I'll move on to something else. But I ended up liking it, you know?
How long did it take to get you to that 1,000?
I don't remember. It was a couple months. But I was posting like 2 to 3 times a week.
Mm.
And they were really bad videos, like really bad. And then I think within 2 weeks or something, like 5 to 7 videos in, I ran out of ideas and I started reading books. I was reading a book a week and doing book reviews because I was literally just out of ideas instantly. So I never expected to do anything that I'm doing now, really. Yeah.
What were they all finance related books, or what books were you reading at that time?
Yeah, it was finance related. It was kind of all over the place. It was like extreme ownership.
Mm.
So like all the self-improvement books, I've read all of them now. But I had already read some of the finance ones. It was extreme ownership. It was like how to fight a hydra. It was like just self-improvement stuff. But yeah, they weren't great.
I've been consuming the content of a creator on YouTube. I think it's like Odysseus. I kind of got in the whole of Tiago Forte's like building a second brain, and like I've gotten on Obsidian, and I've started, I was like, okay, I'm doing all these podcasts. I want to consolidate all the information that I'm getting and like all these ideas and distill them and have them linked. So I was like down that rabbit hole, and this creator, Odysseus, is like great on Obsidian, but he talks a lot about he's a writer and a reader, and he talks about like reading the classics versus like the traditional self-improvement and stuff like that. And I'm kind of same as you. I've read all of those books as well. Extreme Ownership, Atomic Habits, Alchemist, all these things. I haven't dived into the classics as much. So that's kind of where I'm going now. As soon as I finish the book, I've got a list of classics that I really want to get into.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't done there was one, it was Stephen Pressfield. It was like a war one. I forget what it's called, but like the
War of
leadership. No, there was like an actual story of a war. So he had those ones.
Yeah. He's kind of on both sides. Like he's a fiction writer as well as like the self-improvement writer. I've read The War of Art and I've read Turning Pro, but I haven't read any other of his other books.
Both of those were great. It's like his main book, whatever that one is. Like if you look that, it was great because it's like this story of, I think it was like Romans or something, but it was also like the leadership principles baked in and like all this type of stuff baked into like a storyline, which I really liked, like all that like Roman stuff growing up, and or it might have been Spartans or something, but yeah, all those, you never know, because like the thing is, you never know what one book, like you get one idea from one page of one book and then your life turns by 1 degree, and like 5 years later you're like not the same person because of this page of this book.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
100%. Do you take notes, like, or are you just reading to read and you're trying to read for speed or for time? Because that's again another thing why I started this second brain, or the Zettelkasten, if you call it the German name. Is because like I often feel like I read books and I'm like, oh, that was great. And then afterwards, I can't, like, I have the central theme of it, but I want to be able to like recall like ideas from specific pages. So that's kind of where I've been doing. I have a Kindle and I'll read on that. And I love that I can highlight stuff and then put notes there. And then I can export that out to an email. And then I can kind of write my thoughts and ideas down. So that's kind of where I've been doing that now. How do you read to get information? Like, is there any strategies you're using?
No, dude, I'm super unorganized. Like I wish I was organized, but like I'm just like it's chaos. So I listen to most of them on audio, like Audible. So I'm just like listening to stuff in the car, at the gym,
Mm,
walking around, whatever. And then if there's ones like I do book reviews on my main channel, so if there's like a book that I really like or I know will do popular or will do like well because it's like kind of a viral book or whatever, I'll like actually physically read the book, write notes in the book, and all that type of stuff. Um, but I don't generally like keep notes. I'm just looking for like literally like two takeaways from the entire book, and the rest of it like I'm never gonna look back at a lot of the notes realistically.
yeah.
So like I kind of do that. And then there's some books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, for Work Week, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like some of those main ones where I've read them like maybe 3 or 4 times. Like I haven't read that in 2 years. Let me just listen to it again.
Mm-hmm.
2 days, listen to the whole thing, and then you just like kind of get into that. But yeah, it's not like a great system for sure.
Rich Dad Poor Dad was what started you on your journey, right? Was that kind of one of the first ones that your mom suggested and kind of put you on the path?
Exactly. Yeah. So Rich Dad Poor Dad was the thing that introduced me to this idea that like, oh, you can have freedom. There's another path. There's assets
Mm-hmm.
and liabilities and all this type of stuff. And he's kind of takes it like a little bit maybe more extreme than it might need to be because like everybody does. You need to have a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was really eye opening for me because I was like, I was homeschooled. I didn't finish homeschool. So like a homeschool dropout, which is impressive. But like I just didn't like what like, you know, people always ask, oh, what do you want to go to school for? I'm like, I don't know. I hate school. I hate all this type of stuff. I don't know what I want, but I just know I don't want that. You know, I don't want to go work in a box. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
very when you're scattered, you don't want to like just do repetitive stuff all the time. And so when I kind of read that, I'm like, wait a minute, there is another path. Like I don't have to go to school. Like I'm not a failure if I don't go to school. I can try this other stuff. And then kind of like with what we were talking about, I just like tried stuff, just tried a bunch of different stuff, and some of it worked out, some of it didn't. But I kind of always knew that, um, like just having that as like an anchor of like, if you just buy assets, you got to figure out what an asset is, and you don't buy liabilities. It's not super hard to like gain freedom pretty quickly, and like nobody buys any assets.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I mean, that's the central theme of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Buy
Yeah,
assets, not liabilities, and everybody thinks their home is a liability or an asset.
exactly. Yeah, and like it even in the past 5 years, it's changed so much. But like, um, yeah, the sooner you start just not putting money into junk and just buying something, because like if you live really cheaply, you buy stuff that makes you 3,000, 5,000 a month, like even 3,000 a month, which is not crazy hard to build over the course of 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Most people could have like an incredible amount of freedom if your expenses are really low and you're making 3K a month and then you just work for a little bit more a month. You could travel the world full time. Like it's so much cheaper to live anywhere else besides here. Like there's so much freedom just comes out of like buying assets early and not having debt. That's killing you, you know?
Were you able to actually internalize that? I know a lot of people read these books and they're like, they'll know it, but it's kind of like an
Mhm.
unteachable lesson. And what I mean is like they have to experience it actually. So a lot of times, like I've definitely been down this. Like I've read those books, I read them at a young age, and I was like, hey, I know it, but they don't know me. Like once I actually get this car, I'll be happy. Or once I'll actually get this, I'll be happy. Did you ever have that phase where you're like, okay, I know this, but let me still buy this thing. And then I realize, okay, they were right. It doesn't actually make me happy.
I did buy some of the things. Like I bought a Mustang when I was, I think, 20 maybe.
Okay.
But it was like a $6,000 Mustang that I paid cash for. Like it wasn't like I went out and spent 50 grand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then within a week of that, I was like, oh, it's a Mustang, and it doesn't even have a good engine in it because it was 6 grand or something. And like it doesn't make me happier. Now I have two cars for some reason and insurance and all this type of stuff. So I realized some of that pretty early on, or same thing with clothes, like nobody actually cares. But I was working at a cleaning company, my
Mm.
dad's cleaning company. I started working for him when I was like 11. And so like, worked my way up to like management-ish position. But like the hatred of my job was so much more than the desire for anything else. Whereas like, I don't care about clothes. I don't care about a car. I don't care about anything. I just need to not be doing this in 3 years. And so it was kind of like, I feel like having a job that you don't mind is like a really big trap for a lot of people, where if you don't have like a really strong motivation, like, I just can't be here. It can't be an option. That was like a big motivation for me, for all that other stuff didn't matter. And then also like, as far as internalizing it, like I was cleaning office buildings. So like I'm driving all over the place, checking on all these buildings. And I was probably listening to like 4 or 5 hours a day of audiobooks. I was just brainwashing myself for like years straight. And then I was like, well, nothing else makes any sense, because this is clearly the path. 4 hour work week. I've listened to it 3 times this year. So like, clearly this is super possible, because that's just all that was coming into my brain was like, I'm just going to switch the inflow. And like, I didn't realize it at the time, but I like literally brainwashed myself to like, oh yeah, that's totally possible. It would be crazy not to do this. So yeah.
With I mean, Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Work Week, I've definitely read it. How applicable do you feel it is now versus when you were originally consuming it? I think it's a pretty timeless piece of material myself.
Yeah, there's obviously some things like the websites he mentions, like
Yeah.
different things like that. Are like, okay, obviously this is out of date, but like, as far as like, and maybe okay for him, he was like, okay, like make a product and sell this and ship and all that type of stuff. Maybe that's like what you're doing right now, like digital stuff now and
Mm-hmm.
starting a personal brand. But a lot of the principles are pretty timeless. A lot of the inspiration is really there. A lot of the ideas of travel, of geo arbitrage, of time management, all that stuff's still really true. Like maybe the mechanisms are different, but I think it's a lot. Like I'm literally re-listening to it right now. Like a lot of this stuff still works. It's just slightly different. But
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, a lot of my core inspirations came from that book of like just lifestyle design and fear setting, and all that type of stuff was very eye opening for me.
With you talked about being in a position, a job that drove you to change because you hated it so much, not because you wanted something else. And I think that's a great principle. I think a lot of times people would be better off if their situation was worse than they are if it's just mild. Like if you're in a relationship, it might be better if that relationship was a little bit worse, because it would promote you to actually leave and change, versus you're like, oh, okay, even though you know it's not going to be the one. Or with a job, you're like, yeah, I don't like it, but I can stick it out. Maybe it'll be a little bit better, versus if it was actually bad, it would force you to leave and go change. Were you just in that position because that's just where you found yourself, or was that an intentional choice to be like, okay, I'm going to stick in this position even though I hate it because it's going to drive me to do something else?
It's kind of like what I fell into just because of like not having a ton of
Mm,
skills. It was my dad's company.
hmm
That was like most of what I knew. At the same time, I was like, so I was doing that at night. I did landscaping, I did construction, I was a real estate agent. Like I was trying everything else during the day, but they were all semi like entrepreneurial more than like, I've never had a job interview.
mm.
Cause I was like, well, that just like, I like, cause Rich Dad Poor Dad's like jobs for losers pretty much, you know? And I was like, oh, okay, well, jobs for losers. I'm never going to try to get a job. I'll try to start my own business, cause that's what this says, and that's what I'm going to try. And so I just tried a ton of different things, and most of them didn't work out. But like, yeah, I didn't like purposely stay because of that. It was like just kind of where I was, but it was either like, I'm not just going to move one step up. I'm either going to get all the way up or I'm going to be stuck here type deal.
Mm.
But plus I also knew that like, if I stay at this job that I don't like and I make a little bit of extra money from these other things that I'm doing, in like 5 years, I can just be done indefinitely because of house hacking. And so I was like, I always knew that there was like, all right, 3 more years of this. All right, 2 more years of this. All right, 1 more year of this. And I can get out. And I don't even need to get like a step up. I can just stay where I'm at and then just get out. And so I kind of always knew that it was coming.
How did your dad feel? You're like, Dad, I hate this. I hate this company. I want out. What was he
No,
saying?
no, no. We actually have a really good relationship. He like that job, like, and I've told him this, like I kind of mention like disliking it a lot. But like ultimately, like on the other side of that, it was really good for me. I listened to
hmm
audiobooks all the time. I learned that like the hard work and like a lot, like there's a lot of good things out of that, but like it was cleaning and managing other people who are cleaners who literally just don't care. And
Mm.
so it was like a lot of that, like there was good and bad, but like when he knew kind of what I was doing, um and like when I talked to him about it, I was like, hey, like you know, I think I'm going to be going here soon. Like he was super supportive, and he's been great throughout the whole thing. And even that company, like the other thing about, like, he also helped me think about companies, like even my own company now is like that helped me, you know, get my first house hack, help my brother get his first house hack. It helped my sister with her income. It's helped like hundreds of other people have income to, you know, support their families, or save up or pay off debt or whatever, because it's like part-time cleaning. So like also thinking of like your business as a tool to help other people, not just make you money. So there's like a lot of good things that came from that as well. I don't want to just to
No.
sound bad, but no, he was super supportive and very fortunate to have that position, even if I didn't enjoy it. You
Yeah.
know, glad I got to work.
Hey, I'm in the same boat. My dad owns his business, and I worked for him growing up. And I was like, dude, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. So I totally get that. But it was a great learning experience. You've mentioned house hacking a couple times. What is that? Real quick, before we get too deep into this conversation, I wanted to give you guys a peek under the hood when it comes to the data. So the data on this app shows me that less than 21% of my average monthly listeners are actually subscribed to the show. Now, subscribing to the show helps way more than you'd think. It helps the show get pushed out to more people. It helps the show grow. It helps me get more guests. It helps improve the quality. So if you guys like listening to me, and more importantly, like listening to the guests that I'm bringing on, do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button right here on this app, and we will continue to grow the show bigger and better with each and every episode. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So house hacking is, I don't remember where I originally heard of this. I think it's Bigger Pockets, which is like a whole podcast brand. Anyways, so that is when you buy a house hacking is when you buy a 2 to 4 unit multifamily, live in one unit, rent the other ones out. You can do that with a first time home buyer loan, so like 3.5% down. And so like the first, and then you can also get money back towards closing. There's like more advanced things, but pretty much like what it looked like for my first one was I bought a like $200,000 3 unit. Um, and then I brought like $6,500 to closing. So like very, very cheap to get into. And then we lived in one unit, rented the other two out, and now we got to live for free. The other two covered the mortgage, taxes, insurance. So we're pretty much living for free, saving up all the money we would have paid on rent, and then just buy another one next year, do the exact same thing, buy another one. So kind of do that. So the way I like to look at it is for $6,500, you make your money back within a year. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
basically free. And then in 30 years, the tenants are going to pay off the mortgage. So you'll make money every single month. The property will go up in value. And then in 30 years, it'll probably be worth $500,000 to $1 million. So you get like a free $1 million in 30 years for living somewhere suboptimal for like a year. It's like
Yeah.
kind of insane not to do it. It's much harder now than it was before, but it's still totally possible. So
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the differences now versus when you did it? And when did you first do it? Like, how old were you? And then what year was that? And then what are the differences now and then?
yeah, so I was 22 when I got my first one. So right before we got married. Um, Yeah, so that was a fun experience. I don't remember how long ago that was. I'm 30 now, so it was 8 years ago,
Okay.
whatever year that is. Um, and yeah, like the price of that property has doubled since
Mm.
then. So like obviously it's going to be harder now. Rents have also gone up a lot. Interest rates have gone up. So like I would just say like it's much harder to get things that are going to cash flow now because of interest rates, because of um just like the prices have inflated, especially like in my state. I don't know if it's the same everywhere. But that kind of goes to like, if you look at like Tim Ferriss of it all, like, okay, maybe you don't get to live in the same city that you grew up in. You might have to move across the country, but you can, like, if you really want to make it work, you can make it work. You just like, it's going to be harder, or you have to be more creative. Like, for our second property, like things were more expensive. We ran 4 Airbnbs out of a 4 bedroom apartment, and that generated $4,000 a month, and the mortgage was $3,000 a month. And so we were making 2K a month and living in a 4 bedroom for free. So like it was great. So like you can just be super creative and make things work. But it's definitely harder now than it was 8 years ago, just from that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I mean, my wife and I, we just were talking with a real estate agent and a loan officer, and like can we got like preliminary numbers on like 450, 550, $650,000 loans, and kind of seeing what those are. Um,
Mhm.
we're just kind of getting information and kind of see what's going on. But we live in Denver. Obviously, my wife's going to school here, and Denver is very expensive. And so trying to make sure that the numbers make sense is super important up here, because that'd be great finding these multifamily homes. What are you looking for when you are looking for these homes? Like, what are some of the key things that you are keeping in mind?
Sure. And so I will also say, like, buying a home and like this is one path, but like other people invest in stocks and just rent,
Mm,
and other people start a business, and like so there's multiple paths. But yeah, as far as that, you pretty much, like, I'm looking for, if this is all rented out, mortgage, taxes, and insurance, like there's like a four square method of like doing the math on this that you can do on the back of a napkin if you just like Google that. But it's pretty much like mortgage, taxes, insurance, vacancies, all this type of stuff. You're calculating that, and then you're seeing, like, if I buy this at a 3.5% down loan, the mortgage is going to be much higher because you're not putting a lot of money down.
mm,
And so, once we move out, will that make me money every single month with everything included? Because you can't just calculate the mortgage, taxes, and insurance. You got to calculate, like, 1 month a year it's going to be vacant. Then you're going to have to repair stuff, and then all this other stuff. So you got to make sure it actually makes you money every single month. The whole rich dad poor dad.
mm.
And then that's like the main thing you're looking for. And so after you see quite a few of them, you can be like, okay, for my city, the price has to be like so like what I was realizing, like, at the time, was like, if it's a $300,000 property, it's got to be 3,000 square feet plus in order to make sense, because of rents per square foot in my city. So like there are some things like that you can get tuned into your own city and figure all that out. But um, yeah, pretty much, like, am I going to be able to live there for free while I'm living there? Once I move on, can I just let this sit here indefinitely, or am I going to have to put money into it every month? Because that changes it from an asset to a liability, you know? Um, yeah.
You got your real estate license when you were 18?
Yep.
Was that with the intent of buying and owning real estate, or did you want to actually be an agent? What was going on there?
Yeah. So I didn't, like, I was just winging stuff.
Yeah.
So I Googled highest paying jobs that you don't need a degree for. Real estate agent was at the top. And I was like, oh, it's like $500 to get your license. I can do that. So I did that. And I was a real estate agent for 8 years, and I never made more than like 20K a year, I don't think. And it, like, yeah, I wasn't great at it because I'm not really good at sales. I'm not good at, like, you got to like tell everybody that you're a real estate agent and like beg for business pretty much,
Mm.
or like market a lot. And I just wasn't really good at that. So it wasn't really it was with the intent of, like, it's a scalable job. It's commission based. I can make a lot of money, or I can make no money, and whatever. And I made no money, but I really thought that was going to be the thing that kind of led me to freedom, not YouTube. But I was wrong. But you definitely don't need to like have your real estate license in order to invest in real estate. You could just like buy a couple books.
What are some that you would recommend, if there's any
Um,
that you think of?
yeah, like Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. He has a lot of books. He has, like, I think he has a book called like How to Invest in Real Estate. He has another one on how to buy rental property with low to no money down. It's a really good book. It's just like, here's an idea of how to do it. Here's an idea of how to do it. And they're like, oh, there's so many ways you can buy rentals with like other people's money and partner and put in sweat equity and all this type of stuff. So a couple of those, or like the Burr method, which is like the buy, rehab, refinance, rent, and repeat. So like pretty much you just get
Mm.
your money back and you just keep getting free rentals. Um, like, depends on what strategy you want to go with, but there's a lot of really good books on it now for
Are you
Bigger
still
Pockets, especially.
are you still looking for properties now, or do you kind of happy with where you're at? How much of it is passive? Like, I know, do you have like a property manager, or are you having to
Mm.
stay on top of it? How much of that is going on?
Yeah, so I have a property manager on the two rentals that I have. So I have six doors total, so two rentals, three units.
Mm.
And I did get a management company. It's just like my time is better spent on YouTube right now. And so it kind of like doesn't make me money monthly. It just kind of like does its own thing. But again, it's like going up in value every year, and in 15 years or whatever, they'll be paid off, and then it'll start making a lot of money. So it's kind of like my retirement plan instead of like I didn't invest much into stocks or anything like that early. I was like, real estate will be my thing that, I can either sell it or get the cash flow. So yeah, that's pretty much on auto. And then right now, I'm kind of up in the air because like I'm very into real estate right now. Like as far as like my net worth is like real estate, tiny little bit of stocks and like crypto and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need to like balance everything out here and like other investments into things. So like, for the next couple of years, it'll be more, probably investing into stocks and stuff just to try to balance out things a little bit. Yeah.
When you so you I went back and I watched some of your first initial videos,
Oh
kind
boy.
of prepping for this. No, they're great.
Mm.
Mine, they're great, especially for just starting. You were in your. It sounded like you were in your first property, like you guys had just got it. You were in it when you first started. You mentioned that the impetus for the YouTube was like you had these things that you wanted to talk about, you wanted to put them somewhere, kind of get that creative outlet. At what point in time were you starting to put more effort and started to see the YouTube channel was kind of being your path to freedom over the real estate?
Um, I Yeah, it's kind of hard. So like I didn't make money the first like 3 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like even when I quit my job, I was making $500 a month from
Was that
YouTube.
was
Like,
that from ads or from
yeah, mostly
partners? Okay.
AdSense. Yeah, and like yeah, mostly AdSense. I didn't really have brand deals back then. Like I didn't know, I was very bad at the whole like making money side of YouTube. I was just like I just love making videos. But I never stopped at the real estate. Like I was getting real estate as fast as I could. I was renovating apartments. Like we renovated 3 entire apartments, mostly just by myself. And I'd never done any, like I'd painted my bedroom once. Like I learned how to tile. I tiled 2 showers. I did, floors, painting, walls, like all this stuff. I was just like really focused on that, but also the YouTube. And I didn't really think it would ever be the thing because like I wasn't treating it like a business at the time, but it was just like a passion thing. Um, but then yeah, as I got to like $500 a month, I had left my job and then the rentals covered all of our expenses and we had like a little bit here. I was like, this could be like if I can get this like $2,000 a month, like this could be like all we need. And
Mhm.
so it was like I never really thought it would get much past that, but then I just, obviously I had more time. I put more time into it and it started to grow. And then really just in the past like 2, 3 years, I really started to be like, okay, this could be like probably 3 years. Like this could be a big thing and really treating it like a business and structuring things and hiring people and all that type of stuff.
What
Yeah.
what are some changes that you made versus like that 3-year mark to bring back Stephen Pressfield's like kind of turning pro? Like that was a
Mhm.
turning pro moment where it's like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how can I go professional? What are some things that you did at that moment that kind of hockey sticked it and made it that much bigger and better change?
Um, so a couple things that I did is one is like, this was actually earlier than that, but I went from 3 videos a week down to one.
Mm.
So kind of like essentialism, less but better. I just like put way more effort into less videos and they tended to do better. But I had a 6 month period where every time I posted, I lost subscribers. Like it would just go down by six. And then over the course of the week, I'd gain one a day and then down by 12. And then I'm like, this sucks. But for 6 months, like that was literally happening every single week. And I just kept doing it for, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Um, but I just kind of, yeah, just kept going. And then when I started to really treat it like a business was more of the, let's not just selfishly, I'm interested in this book. I'm going to talk about this book. I'm interested in this subject. I'm going to talk about this subject. It's like, what's proven to work, what's gonna has a high possibility of getting views, making money. How do I get the views more consistent? How do I actually just not like selfishly make whatever I want? How do I serve my audience the best? And like I talked about minimalism for a while, and that was because like there was one video where I was like, oh, I'm gonna try living like Matt Diavella for a week,
Yeah.
which was a fun time, like back when he was popping, and then that one did well. And I'm like, my whole channel, I'd never talked about minimalism really before. And then my whole channel shifted. And now I'm like one of the bigger minimalist people because I was like, okay, we got to follow this algorithm thing and kind of treat it more like a job than just whatever I'm passionate about. Um, yeah. So that was probably the biggest
Did that
turn.
make you lose a little bit of that interest? Because I mean, initially you started it
Mm.
for that very reason, getting to talk about the things that you were interested in. did taking this hobby and turning it more job, did that make it more difficult for you
Um,
in terms
a
of
little
just
bit, but
desire
like,
to create?
yeah, a little bit. Cause like I really had a lot of passion. I think like, dude, I've been doing this so long. Like I've made 700 videos. That's like everything you can possibly think of saying.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. So you do lose a little bit of that passion. The skit intros, like I used to have like a lot of fun transition stuff like that. And like I've just run out of ideas on some things. So like I did lose a little bit of that passion. But also like because it is a personal brand and it's Gabe Bult,
Mm.
I started with real estate investing and whatever, well, however it started, all the random things I was talking about. And then I was really into like I was personally into minimalism for a while. So I just like talked about that. And then I was really into frugal living stuff. And then I talked about that. And now I'm really more into like the kind of like business and finance stuff. And now it's like shifted over that. So it's also been able to evolve. And like if I was still making how to declutter your house videos, like I would probably quit. But I really like the personal brand of it and like that I shared a lot of my personality as much as I can. Um, and that it's kind of allowed me to like continue to shift and evolve into new things. So I don't just talk about the exact same thing. It's like kind of evolves a little bit while still staying in the same
Hmm.
sphere. But yeah, it definitely does. Like when you treat something like a business, you do lose a little bit of passion, but also like making money is
Yeah.
much better than just like grinding and losing money, you know?
I you mentioned like Gabe Bolt as the brand. Like when the creation of this podcast, like I spent a lot of time. I was like, okay, what am I gonna name it? Like I want a creative name, and then I realized, okay, if I just name it the Chase Merrill Podcast, it's not original, it's not great, but that gives me the freedom to do whatever I want to do with the podcast. Like I can talk to
Mhm.
whomever I want to talk to. It doesn't have to be, fitness related or finance related. I can talk to people that I want to talk about. So I have you on here, then I have athletes on here, and then I have philosophers on here and historians, because those are all things that I'm interested in. And so building the podcast around the things that I'm interested in have been amazing for keeping it going, because there's always more people that I want to talk to. Like I'm not going to run out
Mhm.
of people to talk to because I'm not talking to people in one industry. And then B, it's just allowed the freedom for me to pivot and move around like that.
Yeah, I will say the probably the one downside of the personal brand for me is like because I have minimalism, decluttering, frugal living, real estate investing, like all this type of stuff. If I just focused on one, most likely it would be bigger. I have actually compared to any other channel or most other channels my size, I have very few videos over 1 million views. Like I didn't really go viral. It was like a very slow, steady thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think having that lack of focus on one thing might slightly hurt, but like for longevity, I think it's better in the long run of like having this thing that's different. And then you also really find your people. Like you find the people who are into, the finance, fitness, and whatever, and they're going to
Yeah.
be like, they're really going to connect with you versus somebody who's just like, okay, I just listen to him for this one thing. And then like, yeah, like I think for longevity, it's the play.
I feel like your minimalism, like they're not it's not micro niche down super specific, but I feel like if people are into minimalism, most of them are also going to be into like finance to some degree or something like that,
Yep.
because a lot of minimalism starts out like, okay, I want to save money, I want to do this budgeting situation. So by having that whole house, that whole umbrella of those not specific niches, but semi-related, like you could see how
Mhm.
somebody would hop from one to the other, kind of super great. So for me, it is like if I go to you, I don't have to go to somebody who's doing real estate investing and then somebody who's into minimalism. I just go to Gabe Bolt, and then I've got this umbrella of things that I'm interested in and he's interested in.
Yeah, no, that's what I like to shoot for. And that is generally the thing where like, is this going to fit under the category of like this thing? Because even like within finance channels, like when I do investing videos, like how to invest, they actually do pretty bad. um but like if I do a saving money video, it's going to bang every time. So like even within finance creator, like that niche, you would think it's like all kind of the same, but even that has like these sub niches in it that like Like you could do it, it's just not going to do well. And then
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting. But like when you do find your people, it's very fun because most of us, like when I meet you or I meet other people, I'm like, we've all read the same books, we all
Yeah.
listen to the same podcasts, we all probably work out, like all this type of stuff. So it is fun to find like your people.
It's interesting to think about it like a podcast versus like trying to be a YouTube creator, because like there's no virality, there's no algorithm on Spotify or Apple
Hmm.
Podcasts or anything like that. And so like initially when I started this, I was like, okay, we're going to be on, I'm on all wherever you get your podcast, and then I'm on YouTube as well. And I started really kind of focusing on Spotify and video streams on there. And then what I realized was like, okay, it's really hard to pull in listeners. Like I need to switch the focus to YouTube and like grow there. And then hopefully people will go from YouTube over to Spotify. And that's
Hmm.
kind of been what my focus has been, to kind of grow this a little bit more, a little bit quicker. Is so now all of my thumbnails, all of my titles, like they're made for YouTube, and hopefully that'll transfer over to Spotify and to the podcast land.
Do you do like shorts and clips and all that?
Yeah. So what I've been doing is I post a podcast every single Monday morning, long form, and that goes everywhere. And then I have a clip that goes, on YouTube Shorts, and then on Instagram and everywhere. Like, and then Wednesday and Friday I do a long form clip, like
Hmm.
8 to 14 minutes of video from this, and then I do 3 more shorts as well. And so I've one piece of episode gets, one long form, and then 2 more shorter long forms, and then like 5 clips that get posted everywhere. And that's been the
All right.
greatest.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel like yeah, podcasts like mostly grow through clips these days, or they're shorter ones, and then you like
yeah.
see it enough times and then you convert over to the main one.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Williamson talked about like shorts are great for getting views, but like the clips seem to be better for getting like newer listeners and subscribers. Like people will be more likely to subscribe from that versus a short, because they can kind of see a little bit more about your taste and your interests there. At least that's what he mentions.
Yeah, no, that definitely seems to be true. It's like this whole ecosystem that works together. It's very interesting how podcasts have really changed a lot of things recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. I've talked to a lot of fun people. Um, Speaking of, how much of your editing and how much do you offload and how much do you do? If you're one of those people that watches podcasts and doesn't just listen, you've probably noticed this sauna right behind me in each and every one of my episodes. That is my Heavenly Heat Eco Sauna, and it is seriously the best. It's not just there for decoration. I use it each and every day. Heavenly Heat makes some of the cleanest saunas on the market. They are ultra low EMF, no glues, no dyes, no plywood. It's all 100% hemlock, and they are extremely easy and high quality to assemble. And my favorite thing, they don't require any electrical or wiring. All you have to do is plug it into an outlet and it starts working immediately. Heavenly Heat is a sponsor of the show, and if you're interested in getting a high quality sauna, head to heavenlyheatsaunas.com/Merrill. That's heavenlyheatsaunas.com/MERRILL, and use the code Merrill at checkout to save some money. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I used to do everything myself for quite a while. And then I hired an editor. And now at this point, I have kind of 2 editors. I have like a little team that we built that helps with ideation, thumbnails, script writing, all that type of stuff. So I don't do any editing anymore
Nice.
at this point, which is quite nice, unless there's like a sponsor. So like I'm very for our work weeking things. So like each video on my main channel probably takes 2 hours total. So like technically, if I'm just posting 1 video a week, I could work 2 hours a week, but I don't. I post I have 3 channels that I run, and all the business side and teaching and like all this. So I have like a bunch of stuff going on, but like the videos take almost no effort now, which is great. Um, and then also, like, I do have people that help with scripts and ideas and stuff. But also, when I shoot my videos, it's almost 100% ad libbed. Like, I'll look at
Mm,
the point that I'm talking about and maybe like the script to remember what I was going to say. But then everything is just like whatever happens, happens. This video started out that way and ended over here somehow. We didn't use 3/4 of the script. Who knows? But like, it's just like I really like that freedom of
yeah.
just like I'm just going to see what happens. Same thing with the camera movements or whatever. Like I move the camera a lot, and a lot of that's just like, I don't know, it felt right at the time. And so we're going to go over here now. And that's just kind of how I do it, which makes it a lot easier because like I
Okay.
don't have like a script. Sometimes will be like just the points that I'm going to talk about. So it'll like 5 minutes of just writing down some ideas, and then we'll just talk and see what happens, and then clean it up in the edit. Yeah,
Okay. I was gonna say, how many is it, one take wonder, or are you having to go back a couple different times?
dude. So this is because I've made 600 videos. People are like, oh, you
Yeah.
talk so well, and then they see me in person and like, wow, you're the quietest person I've ever met in my life. And that like for some reason, like as an introvert, like I really like it's freeing to talk. Like if I don't shoot like once a week, I get like I don't know, like it's weird. So I
Mhm.
really like that. But when I'm shooting, I'm better now. But a lot of times it'll be like, hey guys, so welcome to the all right. So hey guys, welcome to the channel. You know what? Hey guys, welcome to the channel. And like, I don't actually say that, but like a lot of times, like I'll like start a sentence and then I'll like build it like 8 words at a time, and so the video is like me repeating like till it gets what I have in my head I can actually say correctly.
Mhm.
But like a lot of it's just like building it piece by piece, and then now that I'm slightly better, like I can talk longer. Um, but a lot of the times it's just like maybe it'll be like a 25-minute thing that I send my editor that he chops down to 8-10 minutes,
Nice.
and I'm just like kind of talking. Sometimes we can use a minute straight with no cuts. Sometimes it's like just depends on how my brain's working that day.
Whenever I'm doing like ad reads for this podcast, or like the mid breaks where it's like, hey, don't forget to subscribe, or do whatever you're gonna do. Um, the first take for me is always the best. So I'll do the first take and then I'll listen back to it and I'll be like, oh, I stuttered here, or I did that one thing here. And then I start thinking about it so much and trying to repeat what I did before that it all just goes downhill. And so it's gotten to the point where it's just like, it is what it is. The first one's going to be as good as it's going to get. And then I move on. And I've improved a lot from what I was initially doing. But it's crazy how having that script and trying to stick to it makes it so
Mhm.
much worse than it would be if you just had the points and were trying to convey those.
Yeah, I find that to be much better. That is the hard thing about ad reads, if especially if there's something you need to say this, then I'm like looking over, and then looking over. So like sometimes that happens, but actually on my second channel, I've been doing videos where it's like literally no edits. I just sit down, like I have an idea of something. I'm like, I'm just going to talk for 12 minutes. We'll see what happens. And people really connect with the purposely wrong. There's dead air. There's me stuttering, and I didn't even cut it out. And like I think with how AI everything has become now, people actually, I myself, connect with people who are real, who are
Mm-hmm.
authentic, who are just going for a walk. There's no edits. They're just like it's like hanging out with a friend. And so I think even keeping some of that stuff in is like not only is it easier, but it also like, oh, this is just a real person who's just doing real stuff. It's not
Oh
like
yeah.
everything's perfect. Like we purposely will like leave bad stuff in now just to make it feel more like a normal, real human, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, that's why I love this podcast is like, I'll cut off the start and the end, and then that's it. Like I'll clean up the audio and then that's it. There's gonna be stutters, there's gonna be stuff like that. Obviously, if a guest says,
Mhm.
"Hey, can you cut that?" I'll cut that. But that's the extent of it, and it frees up my time so much because I've tried YouTube before, didn't click for me. I was like, I
Mhm.
hate this. I hate it. But then I started the podcast and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I get to talk to all these people. There's minimal maintenance in terms of what I have to do to edit it and get it ready. And then I get to talk to all these amazing people. And speaking of about like leaving stuff in, I do a lot of guest reach out. I mean, the podcast doesn't happen unless I have people to talk to. So I'm reaching out to talk to a lot of people. And I've found that I get a better response if I have spelling mistakes or something like that in the reach out, because I think people think, no, it's not AI at that point, because I don't use AI to reach out to people. um,
Mhm.
and so if I have like a little bit of a mistake or like a grammatical error, I found I get better responses.
Dude, that's all right. So I get 100 emails a day, maybe like so
Hmm.
many emails. And literally there are these companies and whoever they are literally just using the exact same template. I've gotten the same email from like 5 different people who are all like, we loved your video on XXX. Like they clearly used AI to fill in my most recent video. And we love how you talk about this and this. Do you think you get like And so, yeah, like having that purposely wrong. We even like in some of the videos, we'll purposely put in spelling errors to draw comments too, and
Yes.
like stuff like that. But yeah, if you're reaching out, even like a voice note is now like I feel like just yeah, just being real. I don't know. Yeah, that's
Yeah. I
funny.
mean, it's so like AI is so prevalent. Like I use Claude a lot.
Hmm.
Claude seems to be my one. It helps with like podcast research about the guests. So like I'll be reading their book or watching YouTube, and then be having Claude compile stuff that I can go over and things like that to make sure I know what's going on. But I don't want it to be like over reliant, we were saying before, like this podcast is just, there's no scripted questions here, we're just talking. And so I could feel like I could get very reliant on Claude and like hey, generate some questions, or what can I fall back on, or something like that. But I feel like if I do that, it takes away a lot of what the podcast is supposed to be and what people come and tune into long form content for.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like especially in a couple of years, um, even like by next year, probably like there's going to be a big difference between the people who um like your favorite YouTuber might just be ChatGPT, like
Yeah.
because they're writing this, the ChatGPT is writing the scripts, it's optimizing everything. So you like don't even like that person. You everything's fake, and optimized.
Hmm.
And so there'll be like that side of things, and then there'll be the side of things who are just people just being actual people who you can't AI can't compete with that.
Hmm.
And so I'm going more that direction where I'm like purposefully, let's make this more raw. Let's make this, I'm going to hold the camera and I'm going to walk around and I'm going to do stuff like that that AI can't do. And I think there's definitely going to be that divide of like I'm okay. I just want to be entertained by an AI podcast. And
Yeah.
then, like there's literally AI podcasts. And then there's going to be like, I want real people having real conversations. And so, um, and then it can also like just fry your brain when you rely it to think for
Yeah.
you. And then there's going to be the people who can't think, that can't have original thoughts. And then there's going to be the people who like, I'm to the point now where I'm like getting rid of my phone for like a decent amount of the day. Cause like I'm realizing that like some of the thoughts that I'm having are because I read this book or I listened to this podcast, and those are good in moderation. But if you do it too much, now like, oh wait, which one of these thoughts are something I actually had, or it's a rehash from something I read last week?
Hmm.
And then it's like, it can really take over if you're consuming too much or you're not thinking because you're using AI or whatever. It's definitely an interesting thing that's happened just in the past year or two.
I've realized like when I wake up, I'm chasing that dopamine hit of checking my
Mhm.
phone so hard first thing in the morning. Like, okay, what are these emails that I got? What's the analytics from Spotify for creators and whatever, and just trying to get that hit. That this month, I made the change. I turn my phone off the night before, so I'll plug it in like an hour and a half before bed, and I'll turn it physically off, and
Hmm.
then I'm not allowed to turn it on for 90 minutes until after I've woken up. And that has been the biggest game changer for me.
That's how do you have like a physical alarm clock?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have an Alexa in my room.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey, Alexa, set the alarm for this time. And
Mm.
that's been clutch for me. So I wake up, I'm able to read. I have a writing routine that I've started to develop. So I have to write every day. So
Mhm.
it lets me write before I see anything online or something like that. So it's my ideas first. And then I am trying to get into meditating. So those are my big three things that I do first thing is like I'll read, I'll meditate, and I'll write. And doing all that before I check my phone lets me not be influenced as much by the outside world. Obviously, I'm reading, but if that's fiction or whatnot, it's been huge, and it started to kind of wean me off of that dopamine of checking those stats and seeing that stuff first thing.
Dude, yeah, I feel like the morning and like winning that just sets like if you start the day on your phone, I feel like you've lost most of the day and more
Hmm.
stuff's gonna happen. You're not gonna have the motivation to go to the gym. I don't know what the correlation is with just like checking in the first minute. Like you wake up, check your phone, scroll that real quick, and now you don't go to the gym 5 hours later. I don't know how that happens, but like it really seems to be a thing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. It sucks you in. I mean, it's that easy hit of dopamine. You don't have to earn
yeah,
it or anything like that. I have a sauna right here that I do in the morning as well. And it's just I try to stack those habits of like meditation and sauna. And first
nice.
of all, that sucks. Okay, because
Yeah.
the sauna without any kind of entertainment is just terrible. So
Yeah.
I'm probably not getting the most out of my meditation because I'm just thinking about how much I'm dying. Um, but like doing those harder things and just kind of getting that time for myself has really helped with like let the imposter syndrome of creating stuff, because I don't feel like I'm just like taking things from other people all the time. I feel like I'm
Hmm.
kind of having my own ideas and kind of creating and formulating my own thoughts, which has been valuable.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. How long you been into saunas? I feel like saunas are like the saunas and cold plungers are like a great place. Like your phone won't work. It's
Hmm.
like you're forced into this meditation, or like in the morning, I've been like staring at the fireplace for
Yes.
like 5 or 10 minutes and just like, I wish I could do it outside, but there's like 2 feet of snow. But like just staring at like doing nothing, even if it's not like actual meditation, because like that was never like my thing, but just like
Hmm.
doing something boring early in the morning, uh, for me really lets like my brain like actually kick on. Takes like 5 minutes, and then it's like, oh, here's an original thought. Here's another
Yeah,
one,
a hundred
which is
percent.
super fun. But yeah,
I've had this heavenly heat sauna for
heavenly heat.
yeah, it's great. I'm having the CEO on the podcast next month. It's a phenomenal company. It doesn't use any like glues or dyes or stains or anything like that. It can be just plugged in a traditional like 120-volt outlet, so you can just kind
Mm,
of plug it in and use it. It's infrared, but it gets very hot. It gets up to like 180 infrared, so
dang.
you're like cooking alive. So it's been great. I highly recommend them if you're looking for a sauna. Um, but I've had this one for a year, but I've been doing saunas in like gyms and stuff like that for a while now. Um, great. Like it's just the science behind it in terms of like
Mhm.
reducing all cause mortality, better sleep, increase in testosterone, HGH, human growth hormone. Like the benefits are significant, and I definitely noticed them when I got sick. I feel like it's because I wasn't doing my sauna for a bit. I kind of took some time off there, and I think that's
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of why I was getting sick. Um, but kind of speaking of these morning routines, do you have any that you've been doing for a while, or any things that you do in the morning that have been like, hey, I have to do this, or it feels like I've lost the day?
Yeah, I think yeah, being on my phone early in the morning is something I really try to avoid. I don't have like a specific number, but I just try to like not check
Mm,
email till I usually go up to bed or go up to work at around 8. So I try not to really do anything on it before then. But a lot of my so like I have 3 kids right now. We just had another baby
oh,
2
congrats!
weeks ago. Yeah, it's fun.
Amazing.
But my morning routine's just been shot for years
Yeah,
now. Like
that
I,
makes
I
sense.
wake up, the kids wake up at 5:30, so I wake up like a little bit before the kids. I shower and then I take them down so my wife can sleep a little bit more. And so it's mostly taking care of the kids in the morning, and then like read the Bible and stuff like that. I do in the morning, but that's like while I'm getting trounced.
Yeah,
So a lot of the things that I used to do, like I used to have like a very specific routine and reading and all this stuff, and at this season of life, apparently it's just like not happening very well.
yeah. I was thinking of this kind of idea of like the fragility of optimization. I've been like super into optimizing my sleep since like 2017 when Matthew Walker came on to like the Joe Rogan and scared everybody about
Hmm.
sleep. Also, I don't metabolize caffeine, so I get no effects from caffeine. So I don't get
Dang.
any kind of boost or anything like that. So if I don't sleep good, my day sucks. So I
Yeah.
prioritize my sleep as much as I can. And what I've realized and was thinking about is my wife doesn't do that, and she sleeps way better than me. Like she's like
Mm,
lights out instantly. She does great. And what I've kind of been thinking, like by over optimizing my sleep, like okay, I need to have my magnesium, I need to turn my phone off, I need to have my blue light blocking glasses, I need to make sure the temperature's at this degree, I need to have my eye mask on, all of this stuff. If one of those things doesn't go right, I'm just like, oh, I can't sleep now. Like it's not going to be good. And I'm thinking about sleep so much. And sleep is one of those things where the more you try, the worse you are at it. And so
yeah.
my wife, by not doing any of these things, she doesn't really care. And she sleeps way better than me versus me trying to do all of these things. And when one thing goes wrong, the whole thing is thrown out the window. So I've been thinking about like trying not to over optimize my life so much that
Mhm.
it becomes so easy for it to get derailed.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, definitely focusing on it makes it. hard. But like there is that balance because like you like, oh, well, you know, magnesium works. You want to take
Yeah,
magnesium. Like you know all these things work and are good for you, so you want to do that. But then it can be fragile, and I think like yeah, having kids has really made that. Like I used to do the exact same thing. I had morning routine, evening routine, all this different stuff, and now it's just kind of like, well, you know, like I sleep 3 hours some nights, and it's
yeah,
nothing to do with what I did. I had no choice in the matter. It just
yeah,
is what it is. And so a lot of things kind of get shredded by that. But that doesn't mean like, yeah, give everything up. Like for me, I realized that like reading fiction before bed really helps me fall asleep.
for sure.
Um, Exercising in some way during the day really helps me fall asleep. So like there are a couple anchors that I have, and then the rest just kind of like if it happens, it happens. If not, just sometimes like I've been learning a lot more in the last couple of years to like let go of perfection and just
Mm,
like you're just doing the best you can sometimes.
100%. What is some of the fiction you're reading before bed?
Uh oh, what's it? Uh it's Iron Gold. Is that the first?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what
Some
that
Pierce Brown,
series
some
is.
Red Rising.
Yeah, Red Rising. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was yeah, so I'm on like book 3, I think. That's been great. Um, a lot of like fiction, kind of like
Yeah.
that. I did Harry Potter last year. Just some like just like light, kind of fun, interesting sci-fi-ish
Hmm.
stuff that's like not going to help me in any way. Not trying to learn anything. Just
Yeah.
like it just helps me fall asleep.
100%.
Um,
Yeah. I read
yeah.
fiction before bed too for that very reason. You're on Morningstar, the third book, or Iron Gold, I think is the fourth one, where it's like,
Yeah, no, I'm on Morningstar. Iron Gold is here on my bookshelf to
yeah.
read next.
I was
So
gonna say
yeah.
light and fun. Just wait till you get to books 4, 5, and 6, man.
Oh yeah.
And it stops being light and fun and starts being very intense.
Okay. Well, it's
Yeah,
still like
yeah.
escaping without like I feel like the default escape right now is like you just scroll
Scroll.
on
Yep.
any social and you can escape thinking or your reality or your pain or your like anything you can escape. But like at least I feel like that's just like a better escape where you don't feel
Oh,
fried afterwards.
100%, dude. And
Yeah.
I will say books 4, 5, and 6 are some of my favorite books.
Okay.
Like they're so good. They're so good. The third one, funny enough, is like my least favorite of the six. So, and
Okay.
it's
I've been slowing down in it. So maybe
yeah,
okay, that's good to know. I just need to
yeah,
push through and
push
carry
through.
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then there's like a 10-year time jump, and then books
Oh
4, 5,
damn.
and 6 start, and they're way better in my opinion.
Okay.
All of them. Because it's he's a better writer at that point, and then you're also
Mhm.
reading from different points of views. It's not just Darrow; you have like
Okay.
multi points of view, and it's phenomenal. What is your other long form, raw, unedited YouTube channel? Which I haven't gotten the opportunity to watch that.
So I have another one called Gabe Bult The Process. I just started it last year of just like I was just like wanting to have somewhere to put like businessy or
Hmm.
like more personal stuff. So I threw it over there, and now that one's like kind of got too optimized. But it like teaches people how to grow on YouTube pretty much because I have like a course where I teach that, whatever. But that kind of turned into that one. But that one's probably like half an hour per video. It's like I'm gonna think of an idea. I'm just gonna talk about stuff that I know about. I'm not really optimizing this too much. All the top videos right now are literally like I was noticing this trend of people just talking, just like turning on their camera and just talking, going for a walk, no edits.
Yeah.
And so I did the same thing. I was like, hey, here's a like I just hit screen record on Loom or whatever, and then I was like, hey, this is like what's going on. Best video I've done. Works way better than all the ones I put effort into. So I kind of went with that one. So that's one, and then I have one called Gabe Bolt 2.0, which is a sauna and cold plunge review channel.
Nice.
Um, and so I started that one a couple years ago because I wanted free saunas and cold plunges, and now I have like 5 saunas and 3 cold plunges,
Okay.
and then I stopped posting. So, but
What has been
yeah,
your favorite sauna and your favorite cold plunge?
like the sweat tent, just because like I love the wood fired, like I like the process of starting a
Mm,
fire and in that. So there's like a kaif and a sweat tent, which I think they're made in the same factory. I'm gonna be
mm,
honest, they're the same price. Get
yeah,
whatever you want. But like I like both of those just from that because they get to like 200 degrees plus, really hot, like intense heat, and
yeah,
just fun, like very calming to get going and stuff. And then cold plunge, probably desert plunge. Has
yeah.
been my favorite. I've only tried a couple decent ones. I also got a wood fired hot tub, which is super cool. It's just like a tub with like
Yeah.
a fire pit and like things, and it, like it self propels the water. I don't even remember what that one's called, but that one's been super, like,
Yeah.
so relaxing. It's just a pain to fill and empty and stuff, but
I just had Thomas Seeger. He's the CEO of Morosco Forge ice baths.
okay.
And are you familiar with the
I
Moroscos?
no, I don't think
Mhm.
so.
So
I'll look it up.
Moroscos are insanely expensive. They're like 20 grand
Dang.
for an ice bath. They're sick. Like they're made out in Arizona. They're really, I mean, they're like rolled steel ice baths
Mhm.
that like generate actual ice chunks that like sit in there.
I
Uh,
have a friend who has one of those. Yeah, those are
yeah,
sick.
but I had him on and I was like, hey man, obviously not a lot of people are going to be able to afford a Morosco. And he's like, dude, Moroscos are so expensive. He's like, I'm the owner. And I was like, these things are crazy. And then he referred people. He's like, I just want people to get an ice bath. I think they're great. And he referred people to the Desert Plunge, which is he has no affiliate to. He's just like, yeah,
Mm.
these are significantly less expensive. If you can't afford a Morosco, a Desert Plunge is a great option.
Yeah, no, I think, like, the Desert Plunge is, like, just a giant cooler with,
Yeah,
like,
I looked
you
it
know,
up. It's like a
a
Yeti
chiller.
cooler with a chiller.
Exactly, yeah. But it's perfect. It's, like, super solid, relatively light. It's pretty solid, but yeah, that was my other goal. I was gonna, like, try to take that channel, and I was like, I wanted to get up to one of the wood, I forget, like, is it red wood sauna, I think,
Mm.
where it's like a barrel sauna
Oh
with
yeah.
like stuff in it. So I would like to get to one of those at some point, which is just like I'm like, hey, I worked well with this one, and I like trying to work my way up the ladder.
Hmm.
And then I have seen, like, I do have a couple friends who have some really nice, like, cryo chamber, or is it cryo chamber? Something like that. Like some really like nice expensive ones like those.
Yeah.
Like those would be fun to get, but I would never pay for it. That seems
No,
crazy.
no, it's
But if I get them
insane.
for free, that seems super fun.
Yeah.
But like 7,000 for like one of those barrel saunas is like insane when you can get like 1,000 to 1,500 for pretty much the same thing. It's just cloth instead of wood.
Hmm. Hmm.
So anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Heavenly Heat one, the main impetus I got it was like the lack of like dyes and glues.
Mm.
And then it like I'm in an apartment, so just the ability to just plug it into a 120 has been really sick. So, but that was before I knew you. You have 5 different saunas, so you know what's going on there. What were you doing? What did you just want a sauna, and that's why you created it, that
Uh,
channel?
yeah. So that one, it was like I saw these sauna, they're like sauna boxes. Have you heard of those?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that was going viral a couple years ago, and like I wanted to do a proof of concept that it's not hard to like start a YouTube channel.
Mm,
So I like messaged them on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey, like I'm starting this new channel." I had nothing up, like, and so anyways, I negotiated with them where like I would shoot a video that they could post on their socials because they do user generated content. So like
mm,
a lot of they actually, like, that's how they get most of their content, is just giving out their saunas for free, and then random people shoot videos of them. And then I got an affiliate link, and dude, the first video, brand new channel about that sauna box, within a couple days, it had like 3,000 views, and it had made about $3,000. It was like $1 per view,
jeez,
just because there wasn't a lot of competition. And now that channel just hit 1,000 subscribers today. It's been going for 2 years, and it's made like 40K in affiliates for saunas and cold plunges,
that's
um,
crazy.
on 20 videos. So like I just kind of made it to make money, and then
Yeah,
use that as like proof for my YouTube course. So it was like kind of
yeah,
like this thing. But I don't really post in there anymore. But um yeah, I just kind of started it. I was like, I would like some free stuff, and
yeah.
like this seems like super easy because I can see there's all this demand and nobody's making videos about it.
It-
And then I just kind of hopped in the train that way.
the first video started generating you money. Did you not have to? Was like under the umbrella of your existing channel, so you didn't have to wait for like the monetizing rules of like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch
Well,
hours or what?
it's not like it's not monetized. There's no ads
Oh,
on it. It's just affiliate income
oh,
because every single person who types in, our sauna box worth it?" are thinking about buying a sauna box. And so if
yeah,
they go to it, like, you don't need that many views to make money if it's like super targeted people.
gotcha.
So they're all just reviews of those, and it's a target audience every time. So it's just affiliate income.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's something to think about.
No, dude, if you like, all right. Anyways, so there's, I have a friend who shall remain nameless, who just talks about saunas, cold plunge, health and wellness stuff, videos that are like super low edited, just super honest and stuff. And he's doing 6 figures a month in affiliate income on YouTube, averaging 1 to 2,000 views a video. So like if you're doing affiliate on high ticket products, especially on YouTube where it's super targeted, I think it's a really cool place to try. Like honestly, like I haven't heard of that. You start a brand new channel, do a review of that thing, and I bet you would make hundreds of dollars if you have an affiliate link.
Yeah,
If there's like low competition for that
yeah,
thing, which
100%.
I haven't heard of, so there probably is. So
Yeah, they
I would
gave me
try it.
this one. They gave me an affiliate link, so I definitely need to do that.
Dude, spend 1 hour and make a video, put it on a new channel. If like the thumbnail's not terrible, I think you will make money.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna report back. What is a not terrible thumbnail?
Just like don't have it super edited. Just
Okay.
like look for what's working on other brands, like type in Sonobox or something like mine,
Hmm.
and then choose one that's worked well for other people, and then just kind of replicate that. So mine was just a screenshot of me like looking through the thing with like
Yeah.
the word like, is this a scam or something? Like I don't remember what it was, but um, just like a nice, clean, simple, realistic looking thumbnail.
Okay.
Try it.
Deal. Deal.
Yeah,
100%. That's sick. I'll do that. That's this weekend's project. Because it
yeah.
doesn't sound like it's a lot of time. Like a lot of times people think, especially like you see these amazing high end YouTube videos with like the production value, like your main one,
Mhm.
750,000 subscribers, and they think, oh, like this is so much work to start to get into to see any of the rewards. Versus what you just said is like do a raw, actual video, minimal effort but good thumbnail, and then post and forget about it. Like there's no real downside except for it'll take me an hour of my time, which I could what am I going to be doing scrolling? Like there's not there's
Yeah.
so it's really interesting to have that kind of mindset around YouTube.
Dude, it's so many people. Like, here's the thing: you can talk yourself out of anything. Like, oh, well, I don't know what a good thumbnail is, so I'm not even gonna try. I don't know
Yeah.
how to edit well. It's like, then don't edit. Like, you can talk yourself out of anything, but like literally, yeah, you're gonna be out an hour. Set a timer for an hour, and then just be like, I'm gonna scrap this whole thing if I don't finish in time. You will finish in time. Do that, and I literally did it in under an hour for my first video, and then all of them now. I'm like, I'm just gonna make this as raw as possible. I'm like, hey guys, this is the thing. I don't really like this. I like this. That's about it. Like I kind of like set up the intro all the same way as like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're thinking about buying this, I'm going to tell you what I like, what I don't like, and ultimately if I think it's worth it. Then I go through and I list what I like, list what I don't like, and I tell them if I think it's worth it. No prep. Just go out there and talk about the thing you've actually used. But like with YouTube, especially like you're going to get views from keywords. So
Mm,
like if people are searching that and nobody else has made a video, you will get views and you will get sales because people are trying to decide, should I spend $1,000 on this thing? Before I do, let me have a real person tell me if it's worth it or not. And you're a real person. And
mm.
it's like so many people don't try and it's so frustrating. Like I gave my, yeah, anyways, like I gave some family members some extra saunas that I had. I'm like, dude, just make a video, like just shove it out there. And it's like a year later and they still have like it literally, there's zero risk
Yeah.
and there's a lot of upside. It's so frustrating. Anyways.
So 2026, do you think people should I want to do this in two different ways. Do you think people should create videos or YouTube channel for these raw, unedited affiliate links, easy way to make money? And then do you think people should also make one as like kind of a creative outlet like your main one where they can have like do you think people should still be getting in on YouTube 2026?
Yeah, I think I mean, I'm a little biased because this is all I think about all the time. I
Yeah.
have 3 channels. I post on, I love all this stuff. So, like, ultimately, anything can work. We just started posting on Facebook, and we've done like I think we did 11K in affiliate in 1 month on Facebook text posts.
Yeah.
Because that's popping off right now. Instagram works. Like anything can work, but ultimately, like just try something. You can talk yourself out of anything. You can say it's too late for anything. Like just try it. Any platform, anything that interests you. But yeah, I separated stuff. Like I like having separate channels for everything that are super niched into what they're talking about. Um, so I definitely think that's worth it. But I do think that if your goal is to make, like, it depends on what your goal is. Do you want to talk about something you're passionate about for five
Hmm.
years? Do you want to make money? Because like if you do like physical product reviews that are higher ticket, Like I wouldn't do any reviews of something that has like a $5 per sale. Like you need to
Yeah.
make like $50 to $100 per sale in commission. But like you could do one on no, I think it's an amazing time to start. Like you could do a channel on Bitcoin, you could do a channel on the Epstein files, you could do a channel on Trump, you could do a channel on saunas and cold plunges. Any of those that are like trending right now would do well if you're just like okay
Yeah.
at doing it. Um, and then ultimately though, you want to have a way to make money before you start. So like it's either got to have affiliates or like if you're doing one of those ones on like just trending news, you're only going to make money on ads, and if the
Mm.
trend goes down, it's going to die. But even like I have friends who do, they'll do like how to start drop shipping, how to start a Shopify, how to make a Wix store, and all of those you make $100 every time somebody signs up, and they're signing up because they were googling how to make a Wix store. Your video typed up, they clicked on the link, and they're doing it along with you. And so like it doesn't need to get a lot of views to make money. And so like all those type of
Yeah.
things, I think it's a great time for it.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, Gabe, I really appreciate your time today. It was a pleasure to get to talk to you, and you gave me an awesome project that I get to now do this weekend. So I'm 100% going to do that. I do have a tradition on this podcast where I ask the guests 2 questions at the end to wrap up. First question is, who do you think I should speak to next and why? And then the second is based off the Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. If you encounter a man of rare intellect, we should ask him what books he reads. What's a book you recommend? We've talked about a lot,
Uh,
but
yeah. So, let's see. Book I recommend would be, I mean, let's see, 4 Hour Work Week. I
yeah,
think just has made the biggest impact on my. That's like super basic one. But like if you haven't read that yet, what are you doing?
yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur type person, but I just like his bluntness in that. And then someone to have on would be, I would say like David Moss Jr. Super cool
I've had
guy.
Davis Moss Jr. on.
You have?
Yeah.
Dagnabbit. Okay.
He's awesome.
Uh,
He's a stud.
yeah, no, he's a great guy.
I
We
was
met
gonna
at
say, I was like, that sounds like you might be talking about my boy David when you were
yeah.
talking
Well,
about somebody
yeah,
making
okay.
reviews.
Um, yeah, we met at a conference a couple years ago. He was really good. Um, dude, that was my go-to. I got nothing. Let's see.
No, you're
Maybe
good.
like Vincent Chan,
Okay.
another creator in the
Yeah.
space. Kind of took a different approach than me, but
Yeah, he's a stud.
still
I love his content.
landed in a similar space. So yeah,
Awesome, dude. Well, again, I really appreciate your time today. It was a pleasure to get to talk to you.
yeah, you as well. Thank you. I appreciate it.